Washington, D.C., January 7th, 2025. I was crouched behind a pile of debris, feeling the metallic, acrid smell of smoke that filled the air over the Capitol. The full moon illuminated the sky through a thick fog, while the wreckage of military vehicles and the screams of civilians echoed through the streets. Nothing made sense anymore, not since the day Trump made that damned announcement. I could hear the pulsing sound of alien ships patrolling the sky like a cacophony of distorted sirens. 3 months ago, no one would have believed me if I'd said that the President of the United States was complicit in an alien invasion. I wouldn't have believed it myself. I was home that night, sipping my cheap whiskey, when every TV station started broadcasting live. Donald Trump, standing before a podium adorned with the American flag and an alien symbol that looked like a cross between an eye and a triangle, made the announcement that changed the world forever. "My friends, humans," he said with that cynical smile I had always hated. "Today we stand on the edge of a new dawn, an alliance that will bring peace and progress to all nations." The camera then moved, revealing skeletal tall figures with black gleaming eyes emerging from the shadows behind him. Earth wasn't alone after all. They were called the Zoroth, a race Trump claimed would be our saviors, promising a future free of war, poverty, and hunger. His words disgusted me, but the masses, they applauded. It was like watching a scene of collective brainwashing. The truth, however, was written between the lines. Within weeks, U.S. ground troops were demobilized and replaced by Zoroth patrols. Cities were taken, one by one. They said it was to protect the citizens, but everyone knew it was a disguised form of control. Anyone who dared oppose them disappeared. I, Samuel Carter, an FBI agent, knew I couldn't stand idly by. That night, right after the speech, I received an anonymous call. A raspy, muffled voice said, "They're not what they say they are. There's something hidden, something Trump doesn't want you to discover. Meet me at Bunker 17. What followed was a cat-and-mouse game, trying to avoid the drones patrolling the streets and the damn Zoroth, who could smell fear from miles away. It was like they knew who I was. They knew I was a threat. The feeling of being hunted became constant. I found the bunker somewhere in the Arizona desert, in what looked like an abandoned military facility. The steel doors groaned open, revealing a hooded man. He identified himself only as the Raven. According to him, there was evidence that the Zoroth weren't here to help, but to turn Earth into a colony for their own purposes. "Trump sold our freedom for power," he said, handing me a flash drive. "Inside this, there's proof that the Zoroth are preparing a weapon to exterminate the human resistance. They have a hidden base deep in the Pacific Ocean." I couldn't waste any time. I grabbed the flash drive and rushed to leave the bunker, only to hear a deafening explosion behind me. The Raven had sacrificed himself to give me a chance to escape. The sound of metal twisting and walls crumbling still echoed in my head as I ran toward my car. Driving through the desert at night, with nothing but the headlights cutting through the darkness, felt like charging straight into the mouth of hell. Behind me, the sky exploded in blue and green lights. Zoroth ships were hunting, firing energy beams that shook the earth. My heart hammered in my chest. This couldn't be the end. Not like this. Somehow, I made it to the Resistance's hideout. They were holed up in the ruins of an old factory in the suburbs of Los Angeles. The few that remained were soldiers, scientists, and former agents like me, all trying to find a way to sabotage the alien domination. I handed the flash drive to their leader, a former general named Martinez, who immediately plugged the data into a computer to analyze it. The silence that followed as he read the files was almost unbearable, until he finally turned to me, his eyes filled with dread. "My God, they're planning to terraform the entire Earth. If we don't stop them, we'll only have weeks before we're all turned to ashes." I knew it was a race against time. Every second lost meant another step closer to humanity's end. And I would be the only fool to try to stop an alliance between the world's most powerful man and an unstoppable alien force. The smell of salt and rusted metal was overwhelming as I navigated the depths of the Zoroth's submerged base. The walls glowed with a green bioluminescence, pulsing softly as if the place itself were alive. The corridors were wide and curved, as if they had been carved by alien hands into a geometry beyond our understanding. I was surrounded by darkness that seemed to swallow up any trace of light. The constant sound of water slapping against the metal structure echoed around me, blending with the hum of the alien machines. I had only one thing on my mind: destroy this base and, with luck, end the alien domination of Earth once and for all. The mission that seemed impossible was now down to this: all or nothing. I managed to infiltrate using a stolen capsule that the Resistance had modified. Upon arrival, I went straight to the control center, where the main power source was located. I had a compact nuclear explosive, a gift from General Martinez, set to go off in 10 minutes. If I could get it into the reactor, it would all be over. But time was running out. That's when I came across something that made my blood run cold. Trump. He was there, dressed in an alien uniform, smiling with that arrogant expression of his. "I knew you'd come, Carter," he said, his voice reverberating through the metal walls. "I always thought you were a pain in the ass, but I'll admit, you're persistent." "You sold out humanity, Trump," I shouted, clenching my fist around my weapon. "All of this, just to stay in power? You're a traitor." Trump laughed, a rasping sound that made me want to rip that smile off his face. Traitor? No, Carter, I'm a visionary. The human race was doomed anyway. I just accelerated the process of evolution. Beside him, one of the Zorath stepped forward, its black eyes gleaming with a malice I'd never seen before. I couldn't hesitate. I fired my weapon before the alien could react, blasting through its skull with an energy beam that burned the air around me. Trump tried to run, but I was already on his heels. Finally, I cornered Trump in the reactor room. With the timer on the explosive already reading 5 minutes, I had no time for games. "It's over, Trump. You and your alien buddies are going to hell together." He tried to argue, talking about a new order, a civilized world under the Zorath's command. But I wasn't interested anymore. I punched him in the face, sending him staggering back to the floor. It was too late for negotiations. I planted the explosive into the reactor core while he writhed on the floor. When the alarm started blaring, I knew I didn't have much time to escape. I grabbed a nearby escape pod and shot toward the surface, the deafening roar of explosions echoing below me. When I surfaced from the depths of the ocean, the sky was painted orange and red from the explosions shaking the submerged base. A blinding flash lit up the horizon as the alien structure collapsed, dragging down the remnants of that dark alliance. I floated in the capsule, gasping for air, watching the destruction unfold before me. I should have felt relief, but all I felt was emptiness. We had won this battle, but the cost was too high. Millions had died, entire cities were in ruins, and trust in humanity had been shattered. I knew the Zorath weren't the only threat out there, but for now, at least, we had put an end to their reign of terror. Los Angeles, California, January 21st, 2025. Now, I'm back at what's left of the Resistance hideout, smoking a cigarette as I look out over the devastated city. The few survivors are trying to rebuild what they can, but the world we once knew is gone. I'm still an agent, but my job is different now. The new mission is to protect what's left of humanity and ensure we're never caught off guard again. They may have lost this battle, but I know others will come. Trump was just the beginning of something much bigger, and when the next blow falls, I'll be ready. "This is just the beginning," I whispered to myself, as the sun set over the ruins of a civilization that was forced to fight for its own survival.